In this episode of Growing Your Sense of Self through Self-Defense, we're going to look at the adrenal stress response. Get the adrenaline going, the heart rate going, the breathing goes shallow. When you get into when there's an intense situation and you move into the fight or flight mode. The primary purpose of the program is to grow your sense of self, and we're using self-defense as a tool to grow the sense of self. So the secondary purpose of the program is being effective in self-defense, being more effective in self-defense. Now, you can learn all the techniques, you can be very effective in applying them, but if you go into the adrenal stress response, what happens, your mind can sort of black out, and we tend to, in our comfortable lives today, we're not living on the edge, we're not living out in the woods, so what happens is we're not used to going into that state, and what happens, our minds can go blank, we freeze up. And then we don't have, even though we have all these skills, even our muscle memory, if we freeze, it doesn't matter. So what's important is to be able to go into adrenal stress response, because if you're actually going to use the self-defense technique, that's a situation where you're almost guaranteed to be in adrenal stress response. Your adrenaline's going to be pumping. So you need to be able to be, still have your wits about you when you go in that mode, and be able to apply the techniques that you've learned. So a way you can do that is, in simple way to do it, you can sort of introduce that a little bit in the training that you do. We haven't really done it much in the course, but we're going to do that today. I'm going to try to help my partner go into the adrenal stress response, and we'll see how well she performs. My partner today is Miss Ashton. She's a Hapkidoist, a newbie at it, but she's very good for just starting. And we're training in our school that we train in, Flying Tiger in Garner, North Carolina. And the technique we're going to use is one that we've seen earlier. It's from a wrist grab. It's an outside the wrist grab defense. And we've seen this before in an earlier episode. For the details, I'll make a reference, we'll put a link to it. So I'm just going to live hand catch her, pull her over, throw my elbow over, and bring it down. So what we're going to do, when she's going to do it, she's going to do 3 in rapid succession. So she's going to grab me also here, like grabbing me by the collar. The same way I had grabbed her wrist underneath, I'm going to grab it this way and come over the top again, and then get the arm. And then the third technique we'll do is she grabbed me with 2 arms, 2 hands, like she wants to shake me, and I'm going to come up the same way as the other 2 did. Pin this one, and this arm just leaves go, and I don't even care about it, and I put this technique on, and then I would spin out and take her down. Now, we were doing that gentle, that's the way you learn the technique. But if you want to work on adrenal stress response, if you want to work on your self-defense, you have to go into that sometimes. So I'm going to put Miss Ashton I'm going to try to put Miss Ashton into that mode, stepping up by each of those techniques. So I'm going to do it with my face, with expressions that I make. My body is going to be tense, so it looks like it's more aggressive. I'll use my voice, make threatening motions, and she's pretty calm and stuff right now. But that's why I'm going to step it up a little bit and see if we can get her into that mode where you could see a little bit of, she has to get a little bit frantic and still remember to go into the mode. Then the other thing she has to do, have enough wits about her not to hurt me. She makes a mistake, I get hurt, right? She goes too far, I get hurt. When we're going nice and easy, she hears me tap, she releases. In this mode, you don't hear so much. You're hypersensitive, but maybe you're not really interpreting what you're perceiving. So she might go too far. So depending on you to stay within bounds. So we've worked a little bit on this in the past, so we're going to see how well this works. We'll try to stay in camera. So maybe back up just a little bit. Stay in camera. Okay, so. Come here! Ah! Okay. Look, this one. Ah! Good, good. So you do, I'm going to get you. Ah! Ah! Oh! Ah! Good. So you see, she got a little bit flustered on the third one, right? We'll do the third one again. All right. I'm going to throw you. What are you doing? That's it. That's the one. That's it. All right, good. I almost went too far in the third one there. That's good. Well done. So, adrenal stress response, you can see it's intense. So, you don't have to be that intense when you're working. It's just get the person in. Were you in that mode?
Very.
Yeah, you can see it in her face. I don't know how well it'll come in there. I tried to do a close-up and we'll see. But it's good to go into that mode sometime and then still have your wits about you, which you did. You struggled a little bit, which makes you go even more into that mode. Say, I know I can do this, but you calmed it down, you got the technique on. I didn't give her anything, she got me, threw me down, and she was going pretty good on that shoulder. That was well done. So, Miss Ashton, she's a fireball. She's a lot of courage, a lot of intensity, a lot of passion. Great fun to work with. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So next time, kamsahamnida.
감사합니다.
Toodles. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes.